And Ramaphosa will provide decisive leadership in advancing the objectives of the African Union. The National Working Committee also welcomed the work done by the Rapid Response Team, which is led by Comrade Deputy President of the ANC and consists of other NEC members on the Northwest, and further resolved to deploy Comrade Amos Masondo and Hope Papo, who is full-time here at head office, to reinforce the newly appointed provincial task team. I'm sure by now you know that our spokesperson has released a media statement over the weekend where we brought the PTT and the PEC together, and comrades have agreed that they are now going to focus on elections. And Comrade Obed Bapela and Comrade Kubai, our convener coordinator, and Comrade Amos Masondo and Hope Papo, and other NEC deployees will be working with them. From time to time, we'll find time and space as national officials also to go and work in that province. The National Working Committee noted serious allegations of impropriety which have been leveled against Comrade Pule Mabe. I'm sure by now we know that story. And the recent one against Comrade Zizi Kodwa. And the ANC has therefore accepted their request. And this is what the comrades have actually shown. Comrade Zizi has said, if there are such allegations which he alleged that they are fabricated allegations, have requested to voluntarily step aside while dealing with this matter so that he doesn't speak on behalf of the African National Congress. And Comrade Pule Mabe has been cleared, but he has also requested that he should still be at home, still work for the ANC, but not as a spokesperson for now. So we said this is good leadership when the leaders of the ANC themselves think, even when they feel very strong that they are innocent, but they felt that in assisting the movement and respecting and dealing with these allegations, they have to make sure that they don't actually become spokespersons until these allegations have been tested, but they will remain the members of the National Executive Committee. And therefore, Comrade Dakota Lehueta has been the spokesperson of the ANC, and he will continue to do that work. The ANC yesterday and all the time has regarded gender-based violence as an endemic problem in our society which should not be reduced to individual leaders. The ANC is committed to fighting gender-based violence wherever it occurs and takes these allegations against any person with the seriousness it deserves. I'm sure all our structures, the Youth League, the Women's League, have actually embraced this approach of the African National Congress. The National Working Committee considered the state of readiness for the forthcoming elections, noting that only 70 days are left before the election day on the 8th of May. And the National Working Committee has actually said, as we talk to South Africans, we must also, Comrade Dakota, if you remember, remind journalists that they are also voters. So we are once more alerting you that don't forget, we hope you have also registered to vote, and you'll vote the way you may decide. The ANC and all members of the ANC, as well as the alliance partners and volunteers, are on the ground across the country, working tirelessly for a landslide victory at all the polls. We are encouraged that South Africans remain confident that the ANC is the only party that has the capacity to grow South Africa and realize the vision of a better life for all. The ANC met with black professionals yesterday because there was confusion as to whether there was a statement which was denigrating black professionals. The ANC met with black professionals and shakers and movers yesterday on the 26th here at Luthuli, and the meeting agreed that each sector will delegate a person to work with the National Executive Committee Transformation Committee on transformation issues, because black people were starting to say, it looks like during this term around, we are being marginalized. We are actually being put aside. The economy is no more about all South Africans. And we have reassured them that radical economic transformation is still our policy. It is going to happen. We want an inclusive economy, and we are actually going to make sure that, and we have confidence in all South Africans. We have confidence in black professionals. We have confidence in black managers. We have confidence in young and old, because we want to build a non-racial, non-sexist, united, prosperous South Africa. A joint briefing on the outcome of our engagements will be communicated in due course as we interact with them, as well as all sectors. The national working committees considered one of the most developments in the world, that is developments in Venezuela. And as a result, the ANC and its alliance partners affirmed their solidarity with the people of Venezuela in finding a political solution to the benefit of all the people of Venezuela. And a tripartite alliance led by the African National Congress delegation, we will soon be visiting Venezuela on a fact-finding mission, but as part of solidarity with the people of Venezuela under the leadership of President Maduro, as elected by the electorate. We don't believe that leaders can just emerge, stand up, and appoint themselves. We believe in multilateralism. We believe in peace all over the world. We believe that every country is sovereign. We respect the sovereignty of every country. And we fully support, undoubtedly, the people of Venezuela and its elected leadership. And that's why in the next week or so, the Alliance Tripartite, COSATU, ANC, SANCO, the Youth League, the Women's League, and other unions wants to join us to visit and go and show solidarity with the people of Venezuela under Comrade Maduro, as well as celebrate the anniversary of former President Chavez, the late Chavez. The ANC sent its condolences to friends and families of those who lost their lives on the road crash on Moloto Road in Mpumalanga. And we call on government to speed up and conclude interventions aimed at putting an end to the carnage on this road. I'm sure this is a very short press conference issued by the African National Congress, but we wanted to ensure that we want to remind South Africans that be ready for May 8th, and we are in support of the people of the world. Solidarity forever. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Comrade Secretary General Ismail Khashule. I'm sure, colleagues, you have the statement with yourself. With you? No? Can we distribute the statement? comrades, oh, it's in the group. Oh, no, if it's in the group, then we are using a paperless technological development. We will now allow colleagues from the media to raise questions of clarity based on the statement of the National Working Committee. Don't forget also, as members of the media, you are also urged after the press briefing to join our president in Vosloorus on a door-to-door. So if you have a time, you can go and join us in Vosloorus. The president will be there doing door-to-door. We'll start, each and everyone will introduce himself or herself and give us the media outlet or brand that will come from. So we'll start from right. Bonolo, you'll be number 1. Griselda, you'll be number 2. Number 3. Number 4. Today we are not going to have a long briefing. If you miss this round 1, you have missed it. So we are only going to take 4 hands. From there we'll close the media briefing to allow the SG also to go and work on the elections campaign. You are not going to see us from time to time in Luthuli House. Will be out. The instruction from the NWC is that everybody on the ground, all hands on deck. So number 1, over to you. Where's the mic? Okay. Number 2. Where's the mic, colleagues? Because we are recording. Yes, number 2.
I'm Griselda Lewis from SABC Television News. I'd just like some clarity on the issue pertaining to Zizi Godla. As far as we know at this stage is that there's no criminal case has been opened against him according to police at this stage. So what time frame was put on him volunteering to step aside, as you say, until these allegations are tested? Tested how? Because there's no case that has been opened at this stage. So what is the ANC looking at in terms of the time frame pertaining to that? And is the ANC at all concerned? Because on the issue pertaining to the first instance of Mr. Kulemame, there had been allegations pertaining to nefarious reasons why people have been coming forward with such allegations, and also on the part of Mr. Zizi Godwa as well, who categorically denies that he's done anything wrong. Is the ANC concerned at all, perhaps, that what seems to be internal squabbles within the African National Congress, I'm not belittling in any sense what allegations have been brought against the two, but there seems to be behind the scenes some kind of internal factional battles or scores settling that is taking place, and what impact that could possibly have on the ANC heading to the election.
Number 3.
I'd just like to know whether or not the NWC discussed possible reputational damages to the party over the last month or so since allegations of sexual misconduct, as well as the recanting of statements which happened last week regarding black professionals. Did they end up to discuss reputational damages to the party, and if so, are there any remedies which were suggested to countenance reputational damages? Thank you.
Number 4.
Albert here from ANC. SG, it's not true that Bulemabe and Sisiboga are facing allegations of impropriety, but they're facing allegations of rape. Why doesn't the ANC come out and say that we have 2 spokespeople who are facing allegations of rape, and the ANC wants this issue, or these issues to be dealt with? And on the removal or these 2 spokespeople not being there anymore, this morning we understood from both of them, or at least from Puya's side, on the version of the statement that is issued, that we didn't know that he was removed. As far as he was concerned, he was still the spokesperson of the ANC. So it almost seems that there's someone who's not telling the truth to the public about what led to them being removed and what led to their final decision.
No, thank you. Thank you very much. I'll now give over to the SG.
The spokesperson of the ANC officially is Comrade Bulemabe. That is not contested. But Comrade Bulemabe, when he was faced with these allegations, volunteered to step aside so that he gives, because here, whether it's an allegation or whatever, facts or not, they are public perceptions. And if you are a leader and a human being, you may also at times feel hurt. And the best way of dealing with human beings is to then say, this is how the public might actually judge me. They strongly feel that they have not done anything criminal. There's never been an allegation against Bulemabe of rape. There's never been such an allegation. There has been an allegation of sexual harassment, not rape at any given stage.
But you can't call it impropriety for both of them, because it is a crime or an allegation of sexual nature against a vulnerable group in society. So when you call it impropriety, you almost compare you like it's a corruption.
Well, let's say there was this allegation of sexual harassment, as you want us to, and I'm sure we have been saying so. So maybe the language there we can correct it. There's no problem about it. So Bulemabe faced that allegation of sexual harassment. There were 8 charges against them, and both parties agreed that on these 8 charges, we agree that amicably these things were not that much of an issue. The disagreement was on the issue of sexual harassment. And the lady said, if you want to go to CCMA, if you want to go to any court of law, Bulemabe did not stand in front of that particular approach. So is Comrade Zizigodwa. It will be unfortunate if they are ANC comrades. I don't think there are ANC comrades who are involved in spinning something here, because the women themselves who allege, maybe you have not seen their statements, they allege, they show you text messages from phones and all that. So you can't say there is somebody within the African National Congress who's doing something funny. And the ANC doesn't want to take that space. We have confidence in both these individuals, because the universal principle a person is innocent until proven otherwise. But also those who alleges might have a case. We don't know. That's why we are saying the law enforcements are there. With Pulemabe, it was a matter of the employer-employee relationship. With Comrade Zizi, it's something which happened outside the employment area. And benefit of doubt, we are actually saying we don't want to judge anybody. And that's why Comrade Zizi himself volunteered to say, let me also just step aside a bit. Let's deal with these matters. We think some of these matters are fabricated. There is an agenda. Who is driving this agenda? We don't know. We are also in that period of elections. And I'm sure many other things will be happening. So we don't want to judge. We are just saying the comrades have volunteered and they feel so strong that they are hurt, but the women are also saying they are also hurt. And so we are not judges, and we want to give the necessary support to everybody so that the media tomorrow and the South African public don't say that the ANC is hiding anything from the public. Of course, when, be it perception or real, such matters do affect the base of the African National Congress. And that's why we want to give confidence to South Africans to say the ANC stands for the truth, the ANC stands for fairness, the ANC stands for support of women, the ANC is against violence against men and women and children. The ANC respects everybody. And that's why we want to give this opportunity and chance to these comrades and to the young ladies who have actually laid and given us, as the ANC, the letters to say this is what happened. We met them and we said, how do you want us to deal with this? You have law enforcement, and you know the issues of gender violence. Women sometimes are afraid to talk about it. And we are saying to women of South Africa, please don't keep quiet when something bad has happened to you. We are saying to men of South Africa, please don't keep quiet. The ANC is for everybody. And that's why we are here today, to support and say to South Africans, I don't think internal squabbles of the ANC can set me, you and I, against each other on the issue of women. We respect anybody's privacy, and we don't actually enter that space. Black professionals, I think they were. You see, what we have said to the ANC leadership, when you say somebody and when you react to something, you must first check with, if you say Minister Pravin Gordhan has said something, it is important to pick up the phone and say, Minister Pravin, it is alleged, or we hear you saying something like this on the media or publicly, because Mr. Pravin has denied the fact that he has said black professionals something else. Comrade Senzo Mkhunu has said, at that time when he was speaking, there were certain questions where he was talking about certain black managers within ESCOM. It was not a general statement. He says, listen to me, I've never talked about black professionals. So, but the ANC nevertheless was actually clarifying the point that we do have confidence in black professionals. We do have confidence in black people, because the majority of the population of South Africa and our voters and our supporters are black. And this country, The majority of people who stay in this country are black, but nevertheless, we are a non-racial organization. And therefore, we have confidence in our people. And that's why I never end a statement by saying, black men, rise up, be conscious, be confident, walk tall. You belong to this country. The economy must be shared and transferred by everybody. Don't feel down, don't feel hopeless, don't don't despair. Move on. Let's build a better South Africa for all of us so that we share the wealth of this country. For as long as the wealth of South Africa is in few hands, the struggle will actually continue. So we have full confidence in black professionals and artists and anybody. And we also have full confidence in South Africans, be it black, Indian, colored, whatever color. We are all South Africans and we belong to this country. And we must build this country together. We must grow South Africa together. And this is the clear message of the African National Congress. And we have said to anybody and everybody who is a member of the ANC, wherever they are, nobody must contradict the position and the resolutions and the policy positions of the African National Congress. Because if you do so, the African National Congress won't keep quiet, and it's not about squabbles, it's not about internal battles. The ANC has positions, a non-racial, non-sexist, united, prosperous South Africa. The ANC has a position on the land issue. The ANC has position on free education. The ANC has position on international policies. The ANC has policies. So no individual, Secretary General, spokesperson, minister, premier, MEC, nobody, all of us, councillor, all of us, comrade, have one position. Positions adopted by conferences of the African National Congress all the time, and especially Nasrec. And if you move out of that space, then the ANC is not going to be contradiction. The ANC is just going to tell you point blank, our position, this is our position. And that's our work as Little House, to say no. But we don't have to fight out there. We have to talk amongst ourselves. If Comrade Dakota have said something, because at times people are quoted out of context. People are misquoted. Like Comrade Mkonu says, listen to me and tell me where I've talked about black professionals. I've talked about some black managers. Open social media. Listen to it. And when you correct me, don't just go and say, I've said I don't want black professionals. So the ANC is one, and we are focusing on elections. And we hope the majority of South Africans, for the first time you're going to see that the majority of South Africans, and I'm sure even yourselves, deep down in your hearts, you know that this is the only hope of the people of South Africa. So don't fail us. Your voters, your vote is secret, but we are making a plea to all of you, vote ANC. Can I go?
I think you can sit, Comrade SG. Look, on the issue of squabbles, I think the SG has covered it. But what we are urging to all leaders of the ANC, to all alliance partners, leaders, to all members of the executive representing us at the National Assembly, provincial legislature, our councillors, we request all of us to go back to basics. The African National Congress derives its existence from an African way of life, which is Ubuntu. Now, part of the norms and values of Ubuntu, it is to be humble, it is to be humane, it is to lead with humility. So it's unheard of leaders of the ANC for the past 107 years, anyone to lead with arrogance, anyone to lead with pomposity, anyone to look down on our people. It has never happened. Even the most brilliant A-student leaders of the African National Congress, like President Oliver Tambo, who in 1938 matriculated with 6 A's. Amongst these A was in mathematics and metaphysics, and at that time there was no laboratory in our schools. But he managed to lead the African National Congress with humility amongst its constituency, being members of the ANC who never went to school. But he has never looked down upon them because he understood that as a leader he has to be humble, humane, and he has to lead this movement with humility. And that's why for 30 years in exile, he brought it back safe in the country. And that's an example we need to emulate. You can go on, the list is long. Matiba, you can go on, Mama Lilian Goyi, Mama Ruth Mumpati, and all of our leaders, Mama Winnie Mandela. They've led this movement and our people with the necessary care and decorum. And that's what we are asking from leaders of the ANC. List, we project a picture that there are squabbles or divisions within the ANC, because we are from time to time getting off the line and we have to be brought back. So we'll allow the second session because we don't want the SG to leave before he answers all of your questions. Yes, Adrian? Yeah, this would be the last two. Any other ends? What is your question? Okay, no, thank you very much. That one I'll take it. Look, what we have as the ANC, it's a draft policy that has been there, which was one of the policies that we still have to take for final audit with the Gender Commission to check quality of that particular policy. Now, that is the policy that will be, once it has been audited by the Gender Commission, because you know, even though we are the African National Congress, we are not the custodian of that particular policy in terms of Chapter 9 of the Constitution of the Republic. So we still have to take that policy of the ANC, which is a draft, for quality assurance and to ensure that it's compatible and in compliance with the laws of the Republic, particularly your Basic Conditions of Employment Act, your Labor Relations Act, and all other related acts, including the Constitution of the Republic. So there's a stage where we are. We will be ready within 90 days with that particular policy, which is going to apply to all members of the ANC, staff members, as well as leaders of the African National Congress. The issue of the ANC and gender relations, it's a matter of policy that we have long adopted over 65 years ago when we came up with the issue of adopting non-sexism as one of the character and policy positions of the ANC. I would reiterate what I've said on Sunday in our briefing. By non-sexism as the African National Congress, we mean that will not promote any gender-based violence, will not promote any dominance of any patriarchy or matriarchal relations within society, will not allow triple oppression of women at home, in society, and at the factory floor to go on unabated, will not allow the marginalization of people with different sexual orientation from the traditional ones we know, particularly your gays and lesbians or your LGBTQI communities. That is the position of the ANC. And we are opposed to gender-based violence. And it's just unfortunate that we have ran with speed in terms of the work of the ANC in government and forgot this revolutionary house in terms of rectifying our policy positions. I must acknowledge it's a matter that we are in a self-correction to ensure that we comply with what we preach, so that we can act in. So it's a matter that we're correcting. So, Aldrin?
So I just want to go back to the issue of ulema. At which point did ulema voluntarily step down? Because as I was saying, that this morning he still knew that he was still active in that position besides the STDP. The other issue is, had they not asked to voluntarily step aside, would they still remain in those positions? And this is now both Zizi as well as ulema.
Yes, sir. I would request our revolutionary leader, the Secretary General, to answer to that.
No, we have not asked them to voluntarily step aside. They said themselves, since there are these allegations which they find to be out of line, and they allege Comrade Zizi that this is fabricated allegations. The woman says, these are the facts, and I provide you with this document. You can't then be able to judge. And therefore, Comrade Zizi this morning said, let me assist because I am innocent. I have not done anything wrong. But let me still just, for the ANC, step aside a bit. He's still a member of the National Executive Committee, Working Committee. It's not just the spokesperson, because he's innocent until proven otherwise. Ulema himself, I've just even seen it on television, volunteered. But before he volunteered, because he said, well, I hear that maybe the woman wants to take the matter to CCMA. It is within her legal right. Maybe it's a good thing to do so that South Africans know that there is nothing I have actually done against the alleged, against this allegation. So let me give that thing space. I've been cleared, but if the woman is still not satisfied on this other charge, out of 8, happy with 7, not happy on this one, let's allow her to take the process wherever she wants to take it, and let processes. So we have not said to them, hey, can you please volunteer to step in? They have done it on their own. I think comrades were more political and conscious, and it's up to the individuals themselves. And I think that's what we have appreciated. We do have resolutions on issues of sexual harassment, issues of rape, issues of gender-based violence. But I think we lacked this sexual harassment policy, which Comrade Dakota said is in the draft form. We want to subject it to different people, even to specialist lawyers, so that whatever we do, we now know that we are covered in all respects. And we feel for everybody, and that's why we don't take these allegations light. But we are in a situation where it's election time. We don't know what is happening, but we don't also want to cast doubts on people who allege this. Let's leave the process until whatever has happened, law enforcement, CCM, whatever, how they resolve their issues, so that tomorrow the ANC is not blamed for not defending and standing for both men and women. But we are very hard on those who actually abuse women and children. And we are actually making a plea to all of us, all men, to say, let's respect, we are all human beings, we all live together, and we must all be happy and build a brighter South Africa.
So with the ANC not taking a decision to ask them to step aside, meaning that they would still be in their positions if these two individuals did not ask to step aside. The ANC was not going to take any position and try to suspend them.
Well, they are innocent. They assisted the ANC by stepping aside. I don't know what decision was the ANC going to take. But if somebody says, I'm still in CCMA, I'm sure the ANC line was still going to say, maybe the right thing, you have done the right thing, and maybe this is what was still going to happen. I don't know, I can't talk on behalf of the National Executive Committee, but I think the ANC could have still taken the same line.
The ANC could have still decided to suspend.
I don't know, I think so.
No, thank you very much, Comrade SG. Just as an addition, there's a procedure in the ANC in terms of how we suspend a member. It's in our disciplinary code and also in our constitution, appendix number 4. So in this regard, there was no matter that warranted us to suspend these members because it's a matter that is still under investigation. It's a matter that is still at a level of allegation. So there's nothing much that could have been done to suspend these members, but it's a matter that can be decided probably at a later stage, depending on the developments. But so far, ladies and gentlemen,
Maybe let me make an example, okay, which might be practical, because we have the commissions now, be it Zondo Commission, be it PIC Commission, it is Mokoro Commission, it's talking about people. Zondo Commission, they even talked about journalists. Are you saying we must suspend them when there are no findings yet? You can't do that. A person is innocent until proven otherwise. So let's respect the universal principle, because one day this thing happens to you, and then what next? I can go now.
before
Do you have more questions?
let's
No, we are happy to.
let's officially close the briefing. On behalf of the African National Congress, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank you very much for honoring our invitation of this particular press briefing. You are welcome to interact with us as the ANC. We are going to continue with the series of media briefings on our manifesto on various subcommittees. We started this Sunday with the economic transformation. We'll go on until we even get into the land debate or the Reserve Bank or whatever subject that is going to be there. You are also invited to join our president. Is now going to Vosloorus for a door-to-door and a community meeting in that area on the East End. We will also be going to the ground. The Secretary General, all the officials of the ANC, every Thursday will be in Gauteng as the top 6 with all our structures to do the campaign. We'll visit a number of provinces throughout the country. This weekend we are in Northwest Rustenburg for the manifesto launch. That will be our last public meeting. From there, everybody to the ground, all hands on deck, from a former president to a veteran to a member of the National Executive Committee, Provincial Executive Committee, Regional Executive Committee, Branch Executive Committee, alliance partners, and all the fraternal organizations will be on the ground. So if you want us, please join us at that level. Thank you very much. It was nice being with you. Thank you.
And so we come out of that ANC media briefing just speaking to the allegations that have been made against Zizi Kodwa and the decision that he has taken to step aside while investigations continue into that rape allegation. And so we continue. ANC spokesperson Zizi Kodwa has asked to be relieved of his duties while an investigation of rape allegations continue. Acting manager at Eskom, Daniel Mashiko, testifies at the state capture inquiry. And the PRC board member Dudu Hlashwayo has painted a picture of a divided board at the Commission of Inquiry into the PRC. ANC Secretary-General Ace Magashule has just held an urgent media briefing to announce the outcomes of the National Working Committee meeting held yesterday. He announced that both Zizi Kodwa and Pule Mabe have asked to step aside as party spokespeople as rape and sexual harassment allegations rage against them. Mabe was accused of sexual harassment but was later cleared by the party's grievance panel. Allegations of rape against Kodwa surfaced over the weekend.
The National Working Committee noted serious allegations of impropriety which have been leveled against Comrade Pule Mabe. I'm sure by now we know that story. And the recent one against Comrade Zizi Kodwa. And the ANC has therefore accepted their request. And this is what the comrades have actually shown. Comrade Zizi has said, if there are such allegations which he alleged that they are fabricated allegations, have requested to voluntarily step aside while dealing with this matter so that he doesn't speak on behalf of the African National Congress. And Comrade Pule Mabe has been cleared, but he has also requested that he should still be at home, still work for the ANC, but not as a spokesperson for now. So we said this is good leadership when the leaders of the ANC themselves think, even when they feel very strong that they are innocent, but they felt that in assisting the movement and respecting and dealing with these allegations, they have to make sure that they don't actually become spokespersons until these allegations have been tested, but they will remain the members of the National Executive Committee. And therefore, Comrade Dakota Lekhwete has been the spokesperson of the ANC, and he will continue to do that work. The ANC yesterday and all the time has regarded gender-based violence as an endemic problem in our society which should not be reduced to individual leaders. The ANC is committed to fighting gender-based violence wherever it occurs and takes these allegations against any person with the seriousness it deserves.
The National Prosecuting Authority says former ANC Western Cape chairperson Marius Fransman will appear in the Kimberley Magistrate Court at a date that's yet to be set. Fransman is accused of sexual assault. The allegations were made by his former personal assistant Louisa Vinand. The alleged assault happened in a Kimberley hotel in 2016 when Fransman and his entourage were en route to the ANC's January the 8th celebrations in the Northwest. Eskom's acting senior manager for primary energy, Daniel Mashiko, has taken the State Capture Commission through the process of acquiring coal and how it's distributed to different power stations. Mashiko's testimony